For 28 years, a wall divided not just a city, but the world. Concrete, barbed wire, and watchtowers sliced Berlin in half, separating families, friends, and an entire nation. On one side stood freedom, on the other, fear. And then, one November night in 1989, that wall came crashing down, not by war, but by confusion, courage, and the unstoppable will of ordinary people. The story of the Berlin Wall begins in the ashes of World War II. Germany was split into 4 zones, controlled by the Americans, British, French, and Soviets. Berlin, deep inside Soviet territory, was also divided. As the Cold War hardened, the city became the front line between 2 worlds, capitalism and communism. By the late 1950s, East Germany faced a crisis. Its citizens were fleeing west in huge numbers. Doctors, engineers, teachers, workers, nearly 3 million people had escaped through Berlin, seeking freedom and opportunity. To stop the exodus, the East German government built what they called the anti-fascist protection barrier. But to everyone else, it was simply the wall. Overnight, on August 13, 1961, barbed wire fences appeared across the city. Families woke to find themselves trapped on opposite sides. Subways were sealed, streets were cut, and armed guards were ordered to shoot anyone who tried to cross. The Berlin Wall became the Cold War's most painful symbol, a scar of division. In the years that followed, brave souls tried to escape. Some tunneled beneath the wall, others floated across rivers or used hot air balloons. Many were caught and killed. Every year, the wall grew higher, thicker, deadlier. Behind it, East Germans lived under strict surveillance, limited travel, and constant propaganda. But by the 1980s, cracks began to appear, not in the concrete, but in the system. The Soviet Union under Mikhail Gorbachev introduced reforms, glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring. Communist governments across Eastern Europe were losing their grip. In Poland, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia, protests spread. And East Germans began demanding the same. By late 1989, demonstrations filled the streets of East Berlin. Tens of thousands marched for freedom, chanting, "Wir sind das Volk! We are the people!" The government tried to contain the movement, but the world was changing too fast. On November 9th, a simple press conference would change everything. A confused East German spokesman, Gunter Schabowski, was reading a memo about new travel regulations. When asked when they would take effect, he shrugged and said, "Immediately, without delay." The words went live on television. Within hours, thousands of East Berliners rushed to the checkpoints, demanding to cross. The border guards, unprepared and overwhelmed, finally opened the gates. Crowds surged through. Families reunited. People climbed the wall, danced, sang, and chipped away at the concrete with hammers and bare hands. The impossible had happened. The Berlin Wall had fallen, not through bombs or bullets, but through human hope and a bureaucratic mistake. For Berliners, it was the dawn of a new life. For the world, it marked the symbolic end of the Cold War, a confrontation that had lasted for nearly half a century. Within months, East and West Germany were reunited, and the map of Europe was redrawn. The wall that once divided now stands only in fragments, reminders of what fear can build and what courage can tear down. It taught the world that even the strongest walls cannot contain the human spirit forever. On that November night in 1989, Berlin didn't just regain its freedom. Humanity reclaimed its hope. If you believe history teaches us how to heal, not just remember, like, subscribe, and share, because stories like this remind us that no wall lasts forever.